All right, so I'm Ben with the Blue Ribbon Coalition. I'm out here, we're kind of near Moab. I'm with Phil Lyman. He's the state representative from this area. We're in San Juan County. We recently got a decision from the BLM for the Canyon Rims Travel Management Area. This road that you see kind of going down here through this wash is a road that was analyzed in the travel management process, and it's a road they've decided they're going to close. We're kind of south off of what's called the Potash Road. We just drove by the big potash evaporation ponds. We're on the trail that goes up to the Schaefer Trail. So this is a popular area. A lot of people use it. And we argued in our public comment, us and some of our other allies in the off-road industry, would be the Colorado Off-Road Trail Defenders. We actually specifically asked that they keep this road open because we think it has high recreation value. If you look at it, you can see it kind of is a fun trail with some minor obstacles that takes you down into an incredibly scenic Red Rock Canyon here in Moab. You can come and explore this trail, take you about 10 or 15 minutes off the main trail to come and explore this side canyon and get a unique experience and adventure. This specific road is just a BLM road. It's not what we would call an RS-2477. We're gonna look at some of those tomorrow. But they decided to close this. The stated reason that I could find in the route reports was that this is a bighorn sheep lambing area. I haven't seen any bighorn sheep. Usually with a wildlife concern, you can still keep a route open, maybe through a seasonal closure or something to protect the wildlife, but they definitely didn't need to do a full-blown closure and let the route reclaim. Another argument they might make is that the route is reclaiming. I mean, there are a few little weeds growing in it, but this happens in the Utah desert. There's definitely a clearly defined road coming out here. And so this route is actually not reclaiming by my opinion. And so that isn't a good justification for closing it either. So Phil, you have been involved in a lot of battles over roads and road closures. And do you think the BLM should close this road?
Well, it's certainly, if you're trying to take care of the public interest would be to allow access to places like this. And it's certainly a decision like that shouldn't be made at the federal level. It shouldn't be made in Washington, D.C. It should be something that the county would weigh in on, that the people here would weigh in on, that the state legislature would have a say in. And instead, it kind of goes the opposite direction of making a decision and then wanting everybody to kind of rubber stamp that. And that's not the way it's really going to be.
Yeah, do you see impacts? Like there's a road here. Do you see an impact to the desert that's just going to ruin it permanently for future generations?
Not at all.
If you look at the forces that made this canyon, it would take one flash flood to kind of wipe away any impact that would potentially happen.
Well, that's the arrogance of land management, is thinking that you have some impact, eternally that you're not even a scratch on the surface. So.
Yeah, so it's a lightly traveled road. I mean, the BLM and now recognize that as well. I mean, but it's clearly here, clearly has value. This is incredibly scenic. It's a cool place to explore. I'm glad I came to see it. I don't see why it needs to be closed.
The fact that it exists is indication that
someone wanted to come explore this area, and so just so everyone knows, I mean, we are actually challenging this decision. We filed an appeal. We've been part of the travel management process. We were part of the original settlement with the Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, where they forced the BLM to reanalyze all these roads. And on this one, we don't like the decision they came to. They're closing, just for informational purposes, they're closing 139 routes out of 296, I believe. That's almost half the routes in this area they decided to close, and they're routes like this. Really no reason to close it, plenty of reason for it to exist, and so we're here just documenting what's happening. We hope you'll support us. If you go to sharetrails.org and look on our homepage, we have a project. It's called the 10,000 Plus Project. That's because we're trying to protect 10,000 miles of trails that are being analyzed through this process. This is a little, probably just about a mile total of that 10,000, but if all the 10,000 of them look like this, it's worth protecting. So we hope you'll support us, sign up to be part of the 10,000 Plus Project. That would basically put you in the loop so that we would give you information on what's happening with things like this. We also could use any sort of financial support for the legal challenges we're making for these decisions that we think are a bad idea for the off-road and recreation and dispersed camping community.
I just want to say what a great thing it is that we have organizations like Blue Ribbon Coalition and these grassroots organizations because the state legislature needs to have input and feedback from people on the ground. So thanks, Ben, for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for being here too to see on the ground what's being closed. There's just no reason for it. So
Right.
anyway, we have some more updates. We'll post those as well soon. Thanks.